ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, wrestling fans, and sports entertainment fans. Welcome to the No Shave Man Cave. I'm ElliJare, baby. What are we talking about? Butte. If we're in Canada, what are we talking about? Hey, today's presentation is brought to you by Artemis, man. Be your own. Bam. Thank you, Artemis, man, for some hygienic makeover products. Because I may or may not need a makeover. If you've got something to stimulate beard growth, don't make it weird. I'm all in. Hey, check it out. So the industry that I work in requires me to have a beard that is moderately groomed, and it cannot exceed 4 inches. Don't make it weird. Um, so yeah, so I had to trim her down, and you know, I'll grow it back in. So hey, what are we talking about besides what I got going on with my beard? Are we talking about the morale in the WWE? Because I think we are, and I know it was a little shook, and for good reason. And not just because of the Vincent Price mustache on old Vincent Kennedy McMahon, but definitely him having his digits in the mix because definitely not good for business when the shareholders, me included, are fine with our returns. Everything seems to be on the upswing. Then we turn around and the company sells to Endeavor. That in turn turns into a huge conglomeration of what do we call this? Sports, entertainment, and combat sport. So would this be sport, combat entertainment, or combat sports entertainment, or combat entertainment? Combat entertainment, we'll call it that. I definitely want to have some wrestling involved in there, so we'll figure out how we get to there going forward. But super, congratulations to Vincent and his pocketbook for taking a $1 million investment, which he didn't have. He mortgaged his home and then took a flyer on WrestleMania 1, which if you sat down and I've done a couple of episodes where if you sit down and watch WrestleMania 1, it's basically a cold start because there's no stories, there's no blow off matches. It's just a bunch of dudes and dudettes getting it together in Madison Square Garden and um, you know, bless his heart, Mean Gene Okerlund, who's looking down on us from up above, sang the national anthem. And now here we are with Emmy Award winning artists singing the national anthem. We've got, you know, all kinds of other stuff going on to the build up. It went from seven cameras to I think it was 37 or 38 cameras. So I mean, you take what is that? Almost 6 times the amount of cameras to produce you this huge production and the the big machine that is the WWE. So kudos to Vince and the McMahon name and blah blah blah. But I think with most people in his position, they're like, hey, I reached the pinnacle. You take the average NFL team owner, and they get to a certain age, they step aside. The general manager gets to a certain age, or the head coach. I'm too old to coach. He moves to general manager, and now, he's a EVP somewhere. Uh, not to steal the term from AEW with the EVP thing, but yeah. So I mean, hey, so dig it. Congratulations to McMahon on the sale. Super excited to see what that is going to turn into, and I'm here for it, right? So I'm a wrestling fan, and I think the only bad thing that could come out of this, and I'm being selfish as a wrestling fan, the only bad thing that could come out of this is that if we don't continue on with the current premium live event, status quo, um, we're sitting here doling out, 49.99, 59.99 per pay per view, and if we're dropping that per month, $50 per month, 12 times a year, 2 days for WrestleMania. WrestleMania will probably be 100 unless you're in attendance, and then, and then it'll be 1,000. But yeah, I mean, you're gonna have to dig deep, make it hurt. So, um, so if you're looking at 12 pay-per-views at $50 a pop, um, you know, there's 600, and then you're gonna have WrestleMania, and then there's gonna be other situations that will pop up, just like in May you have Backlash, and then you have the Saudi event. So is the Saudi event going to be more expensive because, or less expensive because Saudi is paying for it? So I'll be interested to see what comes of that. And like I said, I'm here for it. I think the crossover possibility, is that if that's a good word, the crossover possibility of UFC and WWE is, I think it's fantastic. And having fans being ringside, whether it's UFC being ringside at WWE or the WWE superstars ringside at the UFC events, I think that would be really, really cool. So, hey, but hey, back to what we're talking about. Kudos to McMahon, uh, dropping $1 million, you know, 30 years ago, getting a $9 billion return on his investment. Good stuff. Kudos to you. Great to see Stephanie McMahon alongside Trip. Was it? I think it was yesterday or today, as they re-signed Logan Paul. Good deal. Congratulations to Logan Paul. He'll be sticking around. He's got a year deal. Obviously, a little product placement. He had some Prime sitting right there. So good deal to him. Signed another year deal. Good deal for him. But also, obviously, in the photo, it signaled time for spring dresses. So good deal for that. Riddle obviously is back on the screen. We're talking about what he's got going on. Uh, Came back. He was written off, I think, in December, and so he's back. So good deal to see him back. He'll be facing the Miz on Monday Night Raw, and they're out of Seattle, Washington. And for fans in Seattle, Washington, I don't know if you remember the Marshawn Lynch playoff game when he was rumbling and bumbling, and the crowd actually registered on the Richter scale. So, yee! So congratulations to to Riddle for making it back on, making it back on TV. I saw a clip of Riddle, not to get off subject, but I'm going to get off subject. I saw a clip of Riddle when he was at the Ultimate Fighter house, and man, this dude, he looked like a newborn, and he got in, mixed it up, and had some fun. So kudos to Riddle, and sort of this resurgence, rebirth, kind of a thing. And selfishly, I would hope that Riddle returning would mean that the three most intimidating, dominating, powerful letters in the world, wrestling entertainment, sports entertainment world, would be returning soon, meaning RKO. And I'm not I'm not 100% sure on that. I blindly thought that we would see him back, whether it was the Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania. Thank God he wasn't there because that probably would have been the only bright spot in that shitstorm. So apologize to the chitlins for talking like that. But no, so hopefully we see some good stuff going forward for Riddle. He's going to be in a program for a little bit with the Miz. If you're tied to Miz for any amount of time, I don't necessarily think that that is a bad thing because Miz was the host, and unfortunately, whatever they were thinking or weren't thinking for LA Knight, yeah, um, they brought Shano back in, and for their trouble, they got a blown quad. So write that down, put that in your pipe, and smoke it. Not just because Snoop Dogg was involved, but whatever. So I think LA Knight should have definitely had a part in that, and it would have been awesome, awesome, awesome. So also, what we're talking about is evidently Austin Theory was mildly intimidated by John Cena, which, you know, I think he handled it very well. I don't think the match went what everybody wanted or was thinking or whatever, because in my wrestling brain, I'm thinking we're going to see ruthless aggression 2.0, and he's going to come out and really, lay it in. And obviously, um, with John Cena being removed from the ring, probably doesn't have the gas to go to that same extent. But the match did what it was going to do. So, you know, there it is. John Cena took an L. He's Teflon. He'll forever be the 16-time world champion. Was hoping to see him surpass Ric Flair only because, you know, that's my era's Ric Flair. But, we didn't see that. But not to say that, this was an absolute failure. I think when Charlotte surpasses 16, she will. I think that's going to be awesome because she absolutely deserves to be, um, without stealing a phrase, sort of the head of the table of professional wrestlers. So that match with Rhea and Charlotte, was that not awesome? So good on them. So what else are we talking about? We are talking about heel turns, heel to turns. I am here for it. Looking to see some baby faces, somewhat a heel get burned by their partner or something or other. How about this? Was Solo sent by The Rock? And this was a seed that was planted in order to get us to WrestleMania 40. So Solo's been the mole. He's been sort of behind the scenes doing stuff, but you haven't heard his voice on the main roster. He talked when he was in NXT. So if you go back to NXT, you'll be able to see, some of the stuff some of the work that he was doing, and it wasn't bad. I mean, he's been born and raised around it, so I mean, it's it's definitely something that you can buy or you can ride with. So I think eventually, something will come of that. Jimmy and Jay, I don't I don't necessarily think a feud with them would make money, only because they are the winningest tag team and they have all the stroke over on the tag team side. I wouldn't, necessarily mess with that. But I don't have the pencil. I don't even have a pen. I don't, I got nothing. I got a cell phone. I'll send you a message. But hey, so if that happens, it happens, and it's whatever. But what I'm hoping we'll see is I think we need to see Raquel Rodriguez as a heel, and this smiley, happy to be here kind of shtick is whatever. But I think it's time. I think it's time that we see Raquel Rodriguez as a heel, and I think that would be fantastic. She would be a really good foil, a counterpart, a nemesis, the heel to uh, Bianca Belair, or someone who could counter the size and intimidation and strength of Rhea. So so here's so we have the draft coming up. We move her to whatever show and instantly align them like a couple of bulls, like a couple of rams up on a mountain. Do whatever you're going to do. Build this awesome, awesome story that will go until WrestleMania. How awesome would that be? I mean, if you can do it for the bloodline, why can't you do it? Um, why can't you do it for the ladies? Because I tell you, they have amazing character work. They have amazing poise, amazing athleticism that could absolutely sell anything that we're doing in the ring, right? So I'm here for it, but I think we could potentially see that. I don't, I don't know how I feel about a Trish turn or a Lita turn on Becky. Although I think it would be good money because then you could get them in Backlash and do something with the tag team titles. Not sure what we're gonna see with the Backlash and the women's tag team titles. I don't think you're gonna see Roman Reigns on the on Backlash, so that's gonna be something. I am super stoked for what we're gonna see though. Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar and brothers and sisters, talk to me. Who is here for it? And imagine seeing Cody Rhodes hit Crossroads on Brock Lesnar after, say, five five suplexes, two F5s, and somehow something happens that he goes to take him up for the third F5. Crossroads, match over, Cody Rhodes, boom, bada bing. Now, does that mean that that's the end of the Brock Lesnar story? Absolutely not. I think you could carry that on. Brock Lesnar is constantly causing havoc, wreaking havoc all over the place. He's everywhere but nowhere. And they have something else occur in Saudi. Is it a I quit match? No, I don't, because Brock would just as soon pass out or whatever. Is it a first blood match? No, because Cody likes to bleed. Um, there's some kind of a gimmick match. I don't think it'd be a Hell in the Cell because then it's too reminiscent of the Seth Rollins piece. But you could, and you wouldn't be upset about it. Hey, yo, are we talking about Drew McIntyre or Drew Galloway potentially being all elite? Woo! Say that out loud. Drew Galloway is all elite. And that's just bonkers to me because, you know, he came, he did his thing, he left, he came back, and he's been fantastic. Does he deserve a little more coin? I'm sure he does. And, I don't want to come between a man or woman in between their money, and it's up to him to negotiate it. And hopefully, he comes out on the right side because although selfishly, I'd like to see him wrestle with some of the big guys, Lance Archer. Brody. Um, I don't think he'll go to Impact. If he went to Japan, yeah, I think he would go straight to AEW and have an awesome, awesome story, and that would be pretty cool. Him, Brody King, uh, Lance Archer, even him and Jay White. I mean, I think that would be a fantastic match. And Jay White isn't this massive human being, but I think that would be super cool. Um, they would they would definitely burn the house down. I think Drew can really go with just about anyone. He's very athletic and he likes to fly around. I don't necessarily think he should be as giving, but I don't get paid to think either. Just imagine him and Keith Lee wrestling up. I think that would be awesome. How about this one? If you were booking a dream match and you were going to do 3 tag teams, what 3 tag teams would you want to include? Now, my favorite match is the TLC match that had Edge and Christian, the Dudley Boys, and the Hardy Boys um, getting it in, getting speared off, the coming off of the ladder while holding the rope, holding the belt. Um, Absolutely loved it. I don't want to see the Hardys as a tag team in a dream match. I think they should have a run as the AEW champions before they call it a career and go into the WWE Hall of Fame. But I am down. If you want to put on the table in front of me for me to consume FTR, your AEW tag team champions, Lucha Brothers, your Ring of Honor tag team champions, and one of the greatest tag teams of all time, Edge and Christian. Woo! You could have it be a gimmick, you could have it, whatever. I think the money that could be made from that could make mattresses for all 6 competitors in the ring and their families. That is pure money, and I think it would be fantastic. And if you were to do it and have maybe even have Bully ringside, Bully Ray over there at Busted Open Radio. He's doing some work with Impact right now as well. Um, he was doing some stuff with NWA for a little bit too, but yeah. So right now he's known as Bully Ray. You wanted the best, you got the best. Fat and Furious. He has another one that he does with the Hall of Pain, or the Hall of Fame and Pain, or whatever that he does with Mark Henry, also a co-host on Busted Open. But man, would that not be awesome? I would love that. So sign me up. Let me know what city it's in, and I will see if I can get time off of work. Holla. So that's definitely something that we need to talk about. So what else are we talking about? I mean, you've got WWE. It was sold. It's now under the umbrella of Endeavor. UFC and WWE are partners in crime. You have Ring of Honor doing some fantastic work. You had your Battle of the Belts recently, which I think is awesome. So much fun. Impact Wrestling, they had to vacate the men's and the women's titles, so that's going to get sorted out here soon, which is absolutely heartbreaking because you think what it takes for you to get to the championship status, and then a damn injury occurs, and you're like, "Ooh, that hurts." So hope they both make a speedy recovery and are back in the ring soon. For the fan in me, I'd love to see them back in the ring. But if as long as they're able to have a good quality of life and they're not dealing with any long-term injuries and whatnot. So let's hope that's what we're dealing with. So no, good stuff. So evidently we're gonna see Shinsuke Nakamura back in the ring. He did a one-off with DDT, and he was out for a couple of months. He wasn't injured. They were just working on some program notes and what have you. And he will be back on Smackdown next week, and that is as of the 7th of April. So that'll be super, super cool. Looking forward to seeing him. Um, Looking forward to seeing him back in the ring. So very, very cool. So we also have the draft getting ready to come up. And, just imagine you're sitting there in whatever city, because now the draft travels around, and you're sitting in your town, your favorite football city. You probably have your jersey on or whatever if you're, at the draft. If you're at the wrestling draft, you're either wearing a blue shirt or a red shirt. Maybe you've got your favorite wrestler t-shirt on, and you're hoping whatever happens to them, it's it's for the better. They get called up from NXT. They get called, their number gets called to move from SmackDown to Raw or Raw to SmackDown, and it's a better situation for them. But then you have those situations like when they broke the Dudley Boys up, and it worked out okay for Bubba or Bully. Um, Devon went and did the Deacon thing. That didn't necessarily work out, and they put them back together. Then you have Heavy Machinery, and Tucky is no longer on the roster. I'm not even sure what he's up to. I was looking to see what he was doing, and he's not listed on any active rosters right now. So that's kind of a bummer, because they were a good act. They had a good thing going. They you know, it just didn't work when when they get called up to the main roster. So hopefully the draft goes well, and as they said, every WWE superstar is available. Now, are we talking past and present? Because I tell you what, Matt Cardona, if you're listening, Indie God, I'm gonna pray to the Indie God right now. You make your happy ass way to the WWE, and you get into a program with Randy Orton. Now, think back to when Randy Orton was bashing on the indies with AJ Styles. How awesome would that be to be able to walk down that road again? And just, I'd like to see Randy Orton back in the ring, him healthy, blah, blah, blah. Matt Cardona is hitting his stride. He's at his peak. He's doing great things. I think he's got 6 titles right now, and unfortunately, he'd have to relinquish them and probably be told, "Hey, we're going to give you a major, major push," and that push would consist of, you know, Intercontinental title, U.S. title, not maybe tag team titles. I don't know. Does Hawkins come with him? I don't know. Whatever the deal is, we need him back um, in the WWE. I think he's doing great things on the indie scene. He's relevant. He's doing amazing stuff. Even if he were to go all elite, I mean, I think that roster's so big. I'd like to see him as the international champion. I think that would be super cool because he's always grinding. Don't necessarily know that I want to see him on the Ring of Honor roster, maybe as the TV champion because you'd see him every week. But hey, I'm here for it. Call him up. get his number, and I'm buying a shirt, I'm buying a ticket, and you know, my WWE brain will be in a great place. So, hey, back to what else we're talking about. We are talking about what is going to be happening tonight on Monday Night Raw. So we've got some. We're going to get some updates on Cody. We're going to get some updates on possibly the why behind why Lesnar smoke checked Cody last week on Monday Night Raw. We're going to get Io Sky against Bianca Belair. Woo! I mean, a couple of absolute athletes are going to tussle, and I think that's going to be fan freaking tastic. So sign me up. We are going to see Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan against your WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, Lita and Becky. And this is where I'm hoping to see a heel turn. And I don't know. I didn't see if Trish was advertised, but she's from Canada. They're in Seattle, short plane flight, um, easy to work out. But I'd really like to see Raquel, um, flip the script, go heel. But hey, what? Who am I? I'm just a fan. So all that to say, man, we have a lot to talk about, and I have barely scratched the surface. So when you and your peeps are sitting around at work and you're trying to, talk about your wrestling in a safe space, it's Monday Night Raw, Tuesday is NXT, Wednesday is AEW. Thursday, you can get a hold of Impact. Friday, you've got SmackDown. There's Ring of Honor tapings. There's New Japan popping up on Access or wherever you're able to get a hold of it. So, I mean, there's something for everyone. And, I'm here for it. So, good stuff. Kudos to every wrestling organization for keeping it interesting for the fans. And thank you so much to those superstars and wrestlers that are making themselves available on social media, giving us the updates and stuff. So to all of our brothers and sisters in arms, like I like to tell um, every time I finish up with a recording, it doesn't necessarily need to be our brothers and sisters in arms, our veterans. If you were in any kind of mental distress, and you feel that you need help, you need someone outside of yourself to support you and your mental wellness, please get help. Dial 988. Uh, you know, if you're a veteran, you can go to va.gov or download the My Healthy Vet app. And right along the bottom, there's a red banner, and you can just click that. They will instantly connect you to someone who has a mental health or a wellness background that can instantly uh, start your um, start your program to being well. So if you're on active duty, please make your way over to someone in within your command that you feel safe with, and let them know what you're going through. Your chaplain, your first sergeant, your master sergeant, hell, even your roommate. Hey, man, I'm not feeling it today. I don't know what's going on. I just don't feel like myself. It's okay to not be okay. So please get help wherever it is that you're going to get help. And thank you, as always, for checking us out here on the No Shave Man Cave. We're cracking we're cracking 10,000 downloads today. Um, just unbelievable. Super humble. Um, very humble. We just broke 550 followers on Twitter. We're slowly growing our YouTube uh, fandom as well. Check us out wherever you get your podcasts. We are there, No Shave Man Cave. And you can even check us out on Google, No Shave Man Cave. We are the number one search right there on Google for No Shave Man Cave. And Manscaped is trying to slide on in and get us to groom up. Not today, Manscaped. Not today. Again, thank you on behalf of Artemis Man. Be your own. I went with the invigoration. We'll see how that does me. Looking forward to it. So stay safe. Look out for yourselves. Look out for each other. And we'll see you on the floor.